One of the things I want to give credit to Mimi, our mom, is that one of the things she always told us is you always forgive and you always love. And that's really what brought me to believe in God. Hi, everyone. This is Dr. Christina Rahm, or as my brother called me growing up, Sissy, or Christina, as my sister-in-law Jocelyn calls me. So we are here with my favorite brother,
Your only brother.
Robert Christopher Rahm, and he's my little brother, but I've learned more from him probably than most people in my life. He's an amazing person. I'll start crying, so I'm going to be really careful. And then my amazing sister-in-law, Jocelyn, who I love so much. And so we're so thankful to be here with you guys in this beautiful space and being able to just get to know you and introduce us to our audience and your audience, and then have more people come to this magical space to feel love and likeness and wellness and health, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and I always say physically, and I also say fiascally, because people have to make money, people have to take care of their emotional and mental health as well as their physical. And we've all been on this journey where we've all tried, or we've worked in the space, not tried, but we've worked in the space of psychology or counseling or spirituality. And this has been a huge thing with the Root community and our other audiences, because we have different groups just like you guys do. We all have different networks, but I really want to share with our group and everyone in the world your story. So just so the audience knows, I met Jocelyn in San Francisco. My brother had moved there, and they found love between the two of them. And they've built this amazing life with 2 children, Wyatt and Dessa, and 2 dogs, and a beautiful home in Portland. And they have this gorgeous space that we're going to use for a lot of different things we're doing. But we're using it because we want to use the warmth and the light and the kindness and the love and the art that you guys have. So I would love for you guys to tell everyone how you met and why you love each other, because that's kind of where we go back to the origin. How did you fall in love with someone? Why do you love them? What is that like? And people want to know that, because if you have this love and this light, then you can share it with other people. But I want the audience to know, having this love, having this light doesn't mean things are perfect. It's like Clayton, and it's like my life. You guys know that we argue, we don't always get along. And Jocelyn and Chris don't have a perfect life either, but they have this beautiful life. So I would love to start with how they met and how they fell in love, and then we'll go into where they are now.
We I think before we even met, I think there was a calling in of one another.
That's true. I always forget about that.
Yeah.
Tell us that, because I think it's good for people to hear it.
Around the same, so we'll be married 20 years next year. So it was around 2002, right?
Yeah.
2002. I was living in LA. You were living in...
I was in the East Bay, Berkeley,
area.
Oakland.
And I had been dating in LA, which is...
That's fun.
Yeah. I was manifesting all the wrong guys, or I was in the wrong place, or it wasn't the right time. Yeah. And so it became an opportunity for me to get really clear about what I wanted in a partner. And I remember making a list and getting pretty granular in terms of what I wanted this potential life partner to be. And I was teaching art at a private high school at the time, but I was also doing a ton of yoga and a lot of chanting and a lot of meditation and a lot of my own personal work. And I remember at one point in meditation, I had kind of compiled this list, and I started to feel like there was some kind of presence, like an energy that was starting to be present with me in meditation. And at first, I thought I was sort of questioning my sanity a little bit, because it was such a distinct energy. And I was applying to grad school,
And I was in grad school.
Yeah.
I was getting my master's in transpersonal counseling psychology. It was a marriage family therapist degree. And I had been dating all these different girls in my grad program.
I just like, I would like everyone to know I didn't know about any of the girls.
I didn't.
Jocelyn, and neither did our family.
Yeah, well, I didn't share that with really the family, to be honest with you. And this is going to completely date me, but the Craigslist was very new back then, and people would meet people to date on Craigslist
I never knew that.
back in the early days.
Wow.
And so
Before the apps.
right
Before the apps.
right.
Okay, wow.
So I was like, okay, I'm going to write exactly what I'm looking for in another person, and I had been doing all this work, so I was pretty clear. And I remember thinking, like, no one's going to reply to this because it is so damn specific. And I put it out, and there were a few replies, but only one person replied in a way in which I was like, oh, they get it. And so we were at a certain point talking on the phone back and forth, and we were going to meet.
This was you, Jocelyn?
No.
Oh.
We were going to meet, and I was actually pretty excited about it.
Yeah.
And then I worked at school in the marketing department, and I would help people when they first came to school, in the graduate programs, there's a bunch of them, just get used to this new environment. So she's walking down the hall with her friend. They're looking at different programs, and I see them, and they did look like they were lost. This is not a lie. So I go up to them. And I'm like, you look like you're lost. Can I help you? But in reality, I was like stunned by Jocelyn, and I really wanted to talk to her. And you know me, I'm kind of introverted and definitely somewhat shy. So it was the best I could pull off. And I helped them get where they wanted. And then when they were leaving,
What did you think, Jocelyn, when you saw him? Did you think
I
anything?
remember. I'll never forget. Like, it's almost in slow-mo in my mind's eye. But I remember him walking towards me and thinking, holy shit, that is a beautiful man. Like, I remember there was I was struck, you know, I was really struck, and there was some kind of recognition, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And before they left, her and her friend, they came by my office. So Jocelyn came by my office, and we talked. And then you said, I might go to school here. I'm not sure. And that was that. She left. And I remember it was the first time I really knew someone whose name was Jocelyn, and I was afraid I was mispronouncing it, because you know how we have...
Yeah, we can't say words
Yes.
right.
And so,
I'm trying to explain this to people.
So I went to a couple of the women that worked there that were older than me and said, is this how you say this name? And they're like, yeah, but why do you care? And I was like, because I just met this person and I'm very excited about it. Long story short, I called the woman I was going to meet to go on a date on and said, I don't want to meet, because if there's any chance that this person's going to come, I just met someone, if there's any chance they're going to be in my life,
Oh my gosh.
I don't want to mess.
Isn't that interesting?
Mess it up.
It's just so Chris.
Right.
It's so Chris,
I
because
know.
and I have a little bit of this in me. I just am going to cut everything else out if I know what I want. I don't know where we got that. But he's so intentional. Do you know what I mean? And he's not going to hurt anyone.
Yeah.
So that is amazing.
So then 4 months later, you ended up coming to school, and I didn't know she was coming.
4 months later,
I didn't know she was going to come, and she just came into my office. And I was pretty lame. And I said, oh, I've taken some of the classes you're going to take. We should get together and talk about them. And you said,
Well, why don't we just hang out?
I said, that sounds better.
Yeah.
Is that what you said? That sounds better?
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
It
So
makes you have goosebumps.
it took a minute for our calendars to align, but we went for a hike up in the hills where I used to, the Berkeley Hills where it was like my old stomping ground as a kid. I took him to this spot, we brought a picnic, and I remember it was probably like an hour in, and it hit me all at once that the energy that I had been calling in was him. You know, that he was that exact energy. And it was just one of those moments where it's verified that there's something larger at play, that there's some higher order or some kind of logic that's kind of the undercurrent behind reality, because I knew at that moment that he was going to be my person. Like it was unequivocal in me. But of course, as soon as there's that connection, there's the doubt follows. And I remember going home and I literally didn't sleep a wink that night because my heart was blown open, but I'm like, well, what if it's not reciprocated,
Oh yeah, so what happened? So I remember Chris calling me about this hike, and I don't know if he remembers.
I don't remember.
But he called me and said, I went on a hike with someone that I really think, I don't know how to describe this. The energy was so amazing. Like I have never felt this way before. And Chris at the time, you had been in San Diego and then you went to San Francisco. So I always intently, because he's my little brother, knew I'd never heard him say that. And I had been through different things with Chris, like you had been through different things. Like I saw women hurt him. I saw him care about people, but this was different. So we knew. And I forgot what he told my mom, but it was definitely, I came to San Francisco to visit Chris just to meet you. That's how I met you.
Well, I think that he even told Mom that about Jocelyn was unique, because I literally did not tell her about almost anyone that I dated.
You couldn't tell my mom about someone because then it was like a major,
Yeah,
she would worry. Do you know what I mean? And it would be a major thing. So yeah, I don't remember hearing a lot about any girlfriends really in college. Some of them, but not. But I that's why I came to San Francisco, was I wanted to meet you. He wanted me to meet you. But I don't know how long that was into the relationship.
Not long, I don't think.
It wasn't long.
It was later that was in July.
So he was already in love.
Yeah.
So we knew.
Immediately, she made an art piece, and she wrote this whole thing on the back of it. It was either that night or the next day that you did that. And then you gave it to me like a month or 2 months later. And essentially on the back of it, it said, I fell in love with you tonight. And I remember thinking, like, me, I never even wanted to live with anyone else.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, like, I could get married right now. And I also remember thinking, that's kind of crazy. That doesn't feel very sane. But I felt like that.
I love that. It's called love. Yeah, I love the energy. Yeah, and you knew before, and I believe that.
Yeah, and it's been every marriage, I think we're all probably wanting to better understand what is that glue that keeps a marriage intact, like what is it? Because we've been through all of it. We've been through
Very much so.
all of it. I mean, all of it. And, we've all got our stuff that we're working on, and sort of the inherited traumas from this lifetime, and whatever karmic baggage we're carrying in. And there's been, our relationship has been an incredibly large container that has kind of held whatever it is that we both need to work through and make sense of and get to the other side of. And I think that over time, there's just been like a fortification or something alchemical that's happened to just kind of move us deeper into the prima materia, like the gold. But there's been a lot of fire, and we've both gotten burned,
Yeah. Yeah, we've definitely gone through lots of hard times, and I think Jocelyn's asked me quite a few different times, but actually just recently, like, what was it that kept me in? And honestly, I never thought about not staying in, because the feeling that kind of love, I never felt that before. And I can't imagine. I know you can find it somewhere else, but it's really hard.
It's hard, yeah, I was going to say, I'm not sure.
And I felt like it was worth it. And I knew that, like, growth, there was going to be pain with growth.
Yeah.
And I think a marriage, the unfortunate thing about trauma is you kind of have to play it out a little bit to see it and heal it.
Yeah.
And so, I would say I definitely played out a lot more of my trauma in our relationship. and to Robert, he goes by Chris and Robert. He held that, and I think that one of the sort of most profound aspects of true love is that it has this redemptive quality to it. And so much of my healing as a human being has been because of his love.
I love that. It's hard for me to listen and not cry because I think it's so beautiful what you guys have been through. And I think one of the things I want to give credit to Mimi, our mom, is that one of the things she always told us is you always forgive and you always love. And that's really what brought me to believe in God. Do you know what I mean? That you always forgive, you always love, you can't carry the bitterness and hate. And I don't know if you remember that, Chris, but for me, that's real love. Do you know what I mean? Like the other love for me, when you haven't gone through everything, I'm not sure, I'm not saying it's not love, but if you haven't gone through the fire and the pain, I don't know if you can ever have this once in a lifetime love. I think you can feel that once in a lifetime experience when you meet someone and feel that energy, but you guys have basically taken the fire and the light and the positive and the negative and built this life for your children and for this community. And one of the things for us is we really want to draw people into this community because it's gone through different things, yet there still maintains this just beauty. You know, there's beauty in pain, there's beauty in chaos, and people don't realize that you have to kind of go through that. Yeah. So this space, which I think you call the space, or where we are, has been taken years, but you guys have been on a journey, and we're going to show this in podcast with Clayton and Duquesne, and with all of us really sharing our story and your story. But you've gone through a lot of businesses, a lot of artistic, creative projects, because you're artists. You're psychology, counseling artist, though. You're creatives in every way.
Yeah, I feel more connected to that than anything else, I'd say.
I think Chris is one of the reasons, like he has such a sense of, I know you know this, because you're one of the most beautiful artists I've seen. And he has this sense of beauty that most men don't have. Yeah. You know, so I've always loved that. Clayton and I got in an argument the other day because he said I should have married someone gay because I love when like the whole artistic thing, you know. And I think you guys have built this beautiful life together through the pain and I think part of the pain is what makes a picture beautiful, or a painting or anything. So I want you guys to share how you went from that love. And you guys are gonna get into lots of controversial discussions with Clayton. Sure. Probably lots of fun discussions with Duquesne. Hopefully I'll be in there a little bit trying to mediate. Because I love Clay's personality, right? We all love him, but he's controversial. You guys share a little bit of different beliefs, and we're gonna show that. But what I love and that people don't know is you came together from different families, different beliefs. Completely, if you really think
exactly the opposite.
Almost the opposite, but you've made it work. And people ask me, and they ask Clayton all the time, how does this work when both of you are so opposite? I want you to share your success on that. I know that's a hard question, but you've built businesses around it, and this is absolutely a phenomenal, like the energy in this space is so beautiful. And people are going to come here to drink tea and to meditate and to do all kinds of spiritual and artistic things. But how did you get here? Because you went through pain, I know that, but you took your differences, and I want to show some of those differences you have on podcasts too. But you still love each other, and you still accept each other despite that.
I mean, I think part of, polarity, true polarity, right, the masculine and feminine, and Robert was raised by his mother, but also his two sisters. Both of you and Mary, had such a huge impact on him. And he really was kind of emerged and unfolded in this very feminine world. And I, on the other hand, he had two older sisters, I had two younger brothers, and I was raised by my father. So I was raised in this very masculine environment and at the expense, on some level, of my own femininity. And I don't know if you would say this.
Yeah, I think
at
that's
the
true.
expense of your own masculinity. And so I think that, but the other held that polarity, and there was this, like, I think the beautiful thing about polarity is that there's the opportunity for the harmonizing or the depolarization of those polarities, and there's a lot of power in that. And so I think that was the starting point. Like, we had so much to learn from one another.
Yeah.
We held the other person's medicine, right? Like, the antidote was there. And so I think that was the healing ground. Of course, we had to step up into it.
I would say that we were able, from my perspective, we were able to weather the storm and continue creating, because we're very different, but there's a couple areas that we are very aligned, and one of them is spiritually we're very aligned, and that makes a huge difference. It's like creatively and spiritually we're aligned, and actually as parents. But I feel like the spiritual part was like the foundation, because without it, I mean, Jocelyn's completely, we were Baptists and Jocelyn's Jewish, and is like completely different, but the spiritual foundation was so similar between us.
Well, I don't know. Did you live with guilt? Because I did.
Oh my God.
Jocelyn.
Good old original sin.
Good.
Oh my God. Well,
So I think what I'd like to do is we'll do a short podcast and then we'll do a longer one tomorrow. What would be your parting words to someone on what they're going to learn on this journey with you guys and with us on these podcasts? What do you think we're going to show people?
for me, it's like what's important is like integrity, sincerity, truth. Like that's all I can do. I can't do anything else.
Yeah.
So, and real. Like I've had lots of joy, but I've also had lots of sorrow, and that feels just as important to me.
You're both so real. I would say that. Thank you for saying. Chris has always been so sincere. He's the nicest one in our family, the kindest. No, really. He does hold a grudge if you do something to his family or people he loves. You know how, and I love that about him. But otherwise, he's just this calm spirit. And one of the things I love about you, Jocelyn, you stand up for things and you say how you feel, even when everyone around you may feel something different. And that's honesty, that's integrity. I respect that a lot. I don't respect the lies. I don't think life's worth it if we're going to just waste people's time. We should tackle the hard stuff because people don't want to. So hopefully we'll do that with integrity and not make all of our parents and siblings upset.
Yeah.
Good luck
Yeah.
with that.
Good luck with that. So we are super excited about this Rahm talks that we're having. You asked me, was it hard to change my name back to Rahm? And I love the name, right? It's strength. To me, it's kindness, it's boldness. And you guys are both Rahms, and so are your kids. And I can't wait for Duquesne to share that with you. And Clayton. I mean, we're going to acknowledge him, even though his last name's Thomas. We'll allow him to be in our talks for a short time until he gets kicked out. Sure. Thank you, everyone. We have a lot to come. We're going to have a lot of fun. And we're also going to dig into some deep issues. We've got actually 3 psychologists here in different formats that are also artists. And we'll share with the world how to hopefully make the world even brighter and even maybe cause a few couples to argue, but then bring each other back together. So thank you so much for today and this beautiful space. And we're going to showcase this because I want to live here, but I have to go back to Nashville. But I will be coming to visit. So thank you.